I was 10 years old when my dad left. It wasn't dramatic. There was no yelling, no broken plates, no suitcases thrown into the street, just a quiet morning, a half-eaten bowl of cereal, and a door that didn't open again. He said he was going to get gas. That's it. He had a jacket in one hand and his car keys in the other. I was sitting on the couch watching cartoons. He looked at me, smiled the way someone does when they're about to lie, and said, "I'll be right back, champ." I remember nodding. I didn't even look away from the screen. He never came back. The first few hours felt like a misunderstanding. Maybe he got stuck in traffic. Maybe the car broke down. Maybe, just maybe, he was getting me a surprise. By nightfall, I realized something wasn't right. Mom was pacing, calling his phone every 5 minutes. She tried to hide it, but I saw the panic in her eyes. I saw her hands tremble as she lit her fourth cigarette. I saw her lips moving silently, praying or cursing. I never could tell which. The police came the next morning, not because she called them, but because she reported the car stolen. That's how desperate she was. They said there was no sign of an accident, no sign of the car, no sign of him. He was gone. The days that followed were slow and heavy. Mom stopped talking about him altogether. She threw away his clothes, boxed up his things, erased him from every corner of our house. It was like he never existed. But I remembered. I remembered his laugh, deep and warm. I remembered how he used to lift me up onto his shoulders and pretend I was flying. I remembered him teaching me how to ride a bike, running alongside me even when I knew he was tired. I remembered the way he used to kiss my forehead and say, "You're my number one always." And I remembered the day he vanished. I kept asking questions. Did something happen? Did he say anything? Was he sick? Mom always said the same thing. He was weak. That's all you need to know. Eventually, I stopped asking, but I never stopped wondering. I'm 28 now. I haven't seen or heard from him in 18 years. At least I hadn't, until last week. I was walking home from work. It was raining hard, and I forgot my umbrella, so I ducked into a small coffee shop on the corner I'd never been in before. It was one of those dimly lit places with chipped tables, old jazz playing softly, and the smell of burnt espresso clinging to the walls. I ordered something hot and sat by the window, scrolling on my phone, trying to pass the time until the rain stopped. That's when I saw him. At first, I wasn't sure. It had been so long. His hair was gray now, beard thicker, shoulders slumped more than I remembered. But his eyes were the same. Same pale green, same slight squint when he focused. Same man who left me. He didn't see me. He was talking to the barista, laughing softly, holding a to-go cup in one hand and a bag in the other. I froze. A million thoughts flooded my head. Should I say something? Should I walk away? Should I scream, punch him, hug him? I watched him walk out into the rain and disappear into the crowd, just like he had 18 years ago. But this time, I followed him. He didn't go far. Just around the block, into a quiet residential street. He stopped in front of a small house, modest, neat, lights in the window, someone waiting for him. I stood across the street, heart pounding, rain soaking through my clothes. A woman opened the door. She smiled, kissed his cheek. He handed her the bag. A child ran up behind her, maybe 6 or 7 years old, called him Dad. I don't know how long I stood there, long enough to shiver, long enough to hurt, long enough to realize he had a whole new life. Without me, I didn't go home. I walked for hours. The rain never stopped. I didn't care. I kept seeing his face, the ease in his smile, the way he looked at that child. That was the part that broke me. He left me. But he stayed for them. That night, I couldn't sleep. I thought about writing him a letter, knocking on his door, confronting him, screaming all the questions I never got to ask. But I didn't. Instead, I did something I'm not proud of. I went back the next day, same time, same coffee shop, and when he came in, I followed him again. He didn't see me. Or maybe he did and pretended not to. I don't know. I watched his routine. The way he greeted the barista. The way he took the exact same route home. The way he lived like nothing had ever happened. And then I snapped a photo of him on my phone. Just one. I don't know why. Maybe I needed proof. That he was real. That I wasn't crazy. That he existed outside of the pain he left behind. I showed the photo to my mom 2 days later. She was silent for a long time. Then she whispered, "He looks old." I said nothing. She looked at me and asked, "Do you want to see him?" I didn't know what to say. Did I? Part of me wanted to burn the photo. Another part wanted to march to his house and throw it in his face. But most of me just wanted closure. I went back one last time, but not to follow. This time I crossed the street. I knocked on the door. He opened it. He stared at me for a long time. No words, just silence and rain between us. Then softly, "Jack?" I nodded. He looked like he'd seen a ghost. Maybe he had. We stood there for what felt like hours. Finally, he stepped aside and said, "Come in." And I did.